What it gotta do with this? But it really go to show that everybody hate Chris. Think you know who I supported? Biden or Trump or debate, I avoided. My vote this election, I never reported. Cause Jesus, my family, my job was important. Now I'm trending on Twitter, all because some actors chose to be bitter. Refused to fulfill my role as an avenger for Biden's campaign, so they say I'm a quitter. I don't bother with the hurt say, I'm not involved in politics in the first place. But if you really want to talk about a story, then you really need to worry about Hunter and his drug face. Cause I heard what they found on that hard drive when I've been chilling, getting busy on the par 5. Going fishing, tending to my farm, live a very simple life, and they still give me a hard time. What's crazy is it started all randomly, attacking who I am and my belief in Christianity. I pray to God that he helped me with my sanity, cause every single day I'm losing faith in humanity. Making my wifey go crazy and act up. Robin and Marka, I appreciate the backup. If discontinue, I may need to pack up my life as I know it, then lead till they slack up. And since my church is conservative, now they hating on the way that I prefer to live. Calling me a supremacist, quite interpretive. I swear I do the most with emphasis on the superlative. I became a target for your hate. This won't only happen when you're great. Guess I consider my fate. In the end though, I'ma be straight. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What he gotta do with this? But it really go to show that everybody hate Chris.
Oh man, yeah. Ryan's in here too. He's silent though.
Yeah. This one for my aces, came from different bases, traveling them places, yeah, conquering the nations. Ain't no rocket science, but chemistry what made us. Keep on dropping hits till they know we the greatest, yeah. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night.
We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo. We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo.
Never been an iota. On another level, top low, below us. Ultra light beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force. Close, never been an iota. On another level, top low, below us. Ultra light beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force.
This one for my aces, came from different bases, traveling them places, yeah, conquering the nations. Ain't no rocket science, but chemistry what made us. Keep on dropping hits till they know we the greatest, yeah. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night. Everything is alright. In the studio, we be all night.
We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo. We been flying, look out, beat though. People trying, too much ego. I can take them out solo like Greedo.
Never been an iota. On another level, top low, below us. Ultra light beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force. Close, never been an iota. On another level, top low, below us. Ultra light beam me up, deep glower. Better retreat from these space force. Space force. Space force. on the globe. We can do this backwards, killer fix, let him know. Let him know.
When you tell me how they think it, they reduce it to my melanin. Like I didn't pay the cost, so my brother sick of loss for your chance at the donkey or the elephant, but neither one is relevant. This is for the blacks or the whites that are coming out arrogant. Calling me a traitor for not following. I heard it's absurd, and I heard that it's even more prevalent when you don't understand what I've been through. And blood don't tell me who I'm kin to. That's determined in by the friends who share the same values as me. Don't pretend to act like you know everything that I need. Conservative in the way I believe, regardless of whatever you may perceive. I'm black and nobody can take that from me.
Don't attack me 'cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me 'cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me 'cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. I'm still black.
Take that from me. Yeah.
This is my right as a citizen.
Know all of my rights.
My freedom cannot be limited.
I do what I want. Okay.
Think otherwise, then you ignorant.
Leave me alone. Because
And feed your body, and I'm different.
Don't attack me 'cause I ain't no Democrat. Said don't attack me 'cause I ain't Republican. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. Said don't attack me 'cause of all my politics. You ain't gotta deal with all this shit that I deal with. Yeah, I'm still black. Yeah, I'm still black. I'm still black.
My thing was, what I said was defeating white supremacy.
Yeah.
White people could create black supremacy. And this is what I'm talking about.
I feel like Terry Crews.
I feel like Terry Crews.
I became a target all simply for my views. I'm willing to go and die on this hill. Yeah, Terry Crews. I questioned BLM and that's all it took. Now they call me Uncle Tom, you ever read the book? I'm seeing black supremacy everywhere I look. Exposed a whole agenda, dog, and I left them shook. They coming for my head, now I'm speaking out. On the road to equality, ain't no different route. From Don Lemon and others putting words in my mouth. To the gatekeepers I still don't know anything about. That's the hard truth within the black race. Typecasted as a white man in black face. So they label me a traitor, a disgrace. That's why nowadays I feel like Terry Crews.
I feel like Terry Crews.
I became a target all simply for my views.
Simply for my view.
Stand on my beliefs, dog, that is what I choose.
That is what I chose.
Never back it down, and even if I lose,
Never take it
I'm willing
out.
to go and die on this hill.
Oh well.
Terry Crews. I became a target all simply for my views. I'm willing to go and die on this hill. Terry Crews.
Facts. I'm ringing the alarm.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire. I'm the Philosopher King, the Ivory
Yes, he
Tower,
is.
the Mad Scientist Mad, and I've got a perspective on things.
Yes, you do.
With me, the Kick-Ass Duke, the right hand of the kings, the producer, Dusty.
That's right. I'm here. Let's get used to it. Matt, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Been a little busy.
That we
Um,
have.
yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff coming up this week that should be an exciting week.
Yeah, I think so. But it's takes a lot of time to do these things.
It does.
And I enjoy doing them, but yeah, it's got me tired, and the weekend has me tired, and But I am here, and I'm ready to rock and roll because we don't have time. We don't have time to fool around as much as that word is in the name of our show.
So, so starting things off, just out of curiosity, since the truckers are rebelling up in Canada, can the United States just come in and, hey, they're part of us now?
Canada or the truckers?
No, just all of Canada. Since it's all of Canada that's rebelling, can't we just come in and just go, hey, they're with us now? I mean, Russia did it with Ukraine.
I mean, I don't see why not. It's never been a problem for the Democratic Party before, or really, any of America. Just a little more manifest destiny, no problem.
Yeah, just, hey, we're going to annex you. You're part of us now. You're good. Welcome to the United States. And, we can leave you Quebec. Quebec, you can be your own thing. We don't want you.
We should definitely be offering asylum to all those truckers.
Right?
At the very least. But yeah, if you haven't heard, and I don't know how you haven't. If you're watching this show, you're probably pretty informed. But
well, I know
Canada
JBN
finally,
is.
Yeah, definitely. Air Trudeau finally, took action against the Freedom Convoy, and trampled the truckers. Like, literally.
Good job, Trudeau. Good job.
The cops got on horses and just rode pell-mell through a crowd of people, trampled over an old lady with a walker and
Right?
some other dude. Last I heard, she was in the hospital. There were some reports that she was dead, but
no.
last I heard, she was actually in the hospital and
yeah,
in critical
severe
condition,
condition. But yeah.
And it was, and that's not the only thing that happened. There's all kinds of video. Having trouble hearing me, huh? Let's see if I can turn it up.
Really?
How's that? Better? All right. Yeah, so they did that. Let's try to fix this. Sorry. We had people coming through the area, workers come through, and they screwed everything up. Anyway, let's see, what was I going to
the
say?
police coming in.
Oh, yeah,
and
So there's
absolutely
videos of,
being actually enjoying their over policing powers. And
big time.
Emperor Trudeau
There's
has
videos of
just
there's videos
let
of a
them...
cop kneeing a downed protester, just like repeatedly kneeing them as they're lying on the floor, with other officers around him, and they were between cars, so it looked like they pulled him there to like do it in secret, But there was an aerial, there was a camera from a heightened position that could see them. He's just laying into them, kneeing them like crazy. There's a website that the Rebel News in Canada, one of the few free, journalistic, because most of their news is the CBC, which is paid for by the state.
Yeah, right.
They have a website called convoyreports.com, and you can watch all this stuff. And it's sickening.
I watched a video today of a lady just going to try and get a cup of coffee, and she was walking out, and apparently this coffee place had been known to sell coffee to the truckers, because I guess it's 2 blocks up from the protest. These police officers start pushing her around because she walked out of the place, and then when she got out her phone to start recording, tried to take the phone away from her. Like, wow, that's some serious stuff right there.
They're shutting down those restaurants and places that served the truckers. They're going around doing that. Why? Because they want compliance at every level.
Compliance?
They're sick little tyrant pieces of crap. That's what they are.
Emperor Trudeau.
Emperor Trudeau, wants complete control.
He wants to reform.
You can't let any little rebel alliances form up and try to overthrow the regime. It's actually it's Darth Trudeau and Emperor Schwab. Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. Yeah, he's the emperor, and Trudeau is his little Sith apprentice.
I'm just waiting for him to stand before the Senate and go, "I will now reform the Republic of Canada into the new galactic empire for a safe and secure Canada."
Yep. Yeah. It's egregious. I was listening to Glenn Beck this morning, and they had somebody on who's a reporter for Rebel, and he was there at as everything went down, and he was reporting that the streets of Ottawa are just a ghost town now.
Yeah.
They've got police at checkpoints all over the place. You can't even get into like the interior of the city unless you work there or live there. You have to prove it, or else you can't enter.
And if you can't prove it, you're arrested.
Reminiscent a bit of the post-January 6th DC. But right. So they've effectively shut down the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa, in the capital city.
They still can't get the trucks out though, because the towing companies won't move them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw a video of another tow company, a big crane type vehicle come in with the flag on it and park and join the convoy. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you guys. Oh darn, my truck broke down. Hey,
JBN.
Look at that. Thank you, JBN.
Yes. Thank you for voluntarily paying the taxes of your fellow citizen. That's going above and beyond.
Seriously, that's awesome. Paying for Roman Knightley. What a good guy.
Good times. Good times. Now that being said, they've shut it down in Ottawa. but what's happened in its place? Like, since Ottawa's protest is effectively shut down, protests have sprung up all over the place elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. They
Which
still have the
is-
border effectively shut down.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is all... It's not over. It's not over.
No.
It's not over on our side, on the freedom side, and it's definitely not over on Trudeau's side. I mean, you heard the chief of police over there in Ottawa saying that they're going to be spending the next few months tracking down whoever supported them, whoever was a part of it, and cutting them off from money, cutting them off from society, essentially.
Well, you heard
you
that there's several Canadians have gone online and said, listen, I donated. I never did anything, but I donated to their cause. They've effectively shut down my bank.
Yeah.
My bank accounts. And
Oh yeah.
what are people to do? This is straight tyranny.
100%.
And Trudeau's okay with this. And apparently so is the military and so is the police. I mean, of all people, the police should be against any of this.
1,000% they should be.
But they don't have a constitution that tells them what they can and cannot do. They just have
They have a charter
loose
of
knit
human
of
rights
whatever.
that started in the 80s. And it's not exactly the same as what we have.
It's not the same at all because it doesn't give the negative rights to the people.
Yeah.
It gives the negative rights
it
to the
doesn't
government.
restrict the government. It tells what the government has to do for you.
Yeah.
You know? Doesn't say what the government can't do to you. It says what the government has to do for you. And that's not the same thing. The other side of it is that we gave them these powers. You know? We voted in people, I mean, morons in Canada voted in Trudeau for a second term.
Right?
Right? Then they voted people around him that would agree, and like, you know, seizing bank accounts. You know, probably done in the name of anti-terrorism, you know? We don't want terrorism.
Yeah.
We can shut off their funds. Yeah, but should a government have that power? Like,
No.
It's trading safety for liberty. They're going to eventually use whatever power they give them against you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And what they're doing is tyrannical in the worst possible way. It's Cuba, it's Stalin, it's Mao.
Yeah.
It's the worst of all of this. The worst. And Trudeau's doing all of it.
Yep.
And
I remember what
nobody
I was
seems
gonna
to
call
be
him.
able to do anything about it. And the
We should
media
start
is just like,
calling him,
hey, thank you, Trudeau.
we need to call him Justin Castro. And instead of the O, put it EAUX. Justin Castro. Or EAU. However his last name is spelled.
Emperor Justin.
I mean, it's sickening. And, well, here's the other really great news. So this police chief, right, is not the police chief who started, like, when the Freedom Convoy started. Who was police chief when the Freedom Convoy started? Okay.
Okay.
There was another police chief who resigned because he was not going to do what Trudeau wanted. To do. Yeah. So he resigned, and, you know, apparently no other cop resigned with him because they were all, you know, champing at the bit to you know, beat up some protesters. But Trudeau went and found this other guy to be the chief of police in Ottawa. But here's the thing about him. Canada just finished a lawsuit costing them millions of dollars because that guy was the chief of police somewhere else, where Antifa or BLM were doing protests, and he went to town on them. Right? So he went to
Really?
town on them, and then the organization sued Canada and won millions of dollars. All right, and it was all because this guy is extremely heavy-handed. And yes, Emperor Castro. He cost Canada millions of dollars because
Yeah.
he is, a tyrant.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm sure BLM was doing their thing, but obviously he took it to extremes, and they sued and they won millions of dollars. And then as soon as the other chief of police resigns because he won't do what Trudeau's telling him to do, they get this guy in, put him in, because they know exactly what he's going to do. And it's exactly what they want him to do. Police brutality.
Yeah. Which,
Against
sorry.
peaceful protesters.
I've talked to several police officers who I know personally, and I asked them, listen, if you were told to do what these police officers are doing in Canada, would you be able to carry out those orders? And every single one of them said no. I turned in my badge first.
I hope
What
that's
they're doing is wrong.
100% it's wrong. I hope that's true. But, humanity's history tends to say otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know these people, so I'm not going to speculate on what they specifically would do. But I'm just saying, like, I would hope that I would hope that all of them would say no,
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing a prime example of that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm sure that there have been some Canadian cops who said no and they turned in their badge and they.
More than likely, they were told. If my guess is this, this is what's the conversations that's going to happen, and more than likely, I haven't given names, so it should be fine. One of my friends told me this. This is probably the conversation that was told to them. Listen, you're going to do what I tell you, or I will arrest you and take your family also to jail. You will
Sure.
be considered traitors
Sure.
and tried as such
Yeah.
if you do not do what you're told and do as you're ordered.
That's definitely possible.
That would put the fear of God in me.
And
But at the same time,
what's
do you do?
right is right. If you don't have true convictions in what is right, you're not gonna
Yep.
make the right decisions in those situations. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, or they just lie to them. They just say, these people have been defacing property and they're doing all kinds of bad things, illegal things, evil things.
Mhm.
We need to go out and round them up, because this can't go on any longer,
well,
And most people won't question, I mean, you're trained to follow orders,
to a point, yes.
Sure, to a point. But I'm just saying, like,
So,
that's the whole point of the command structure, is that
yes.
you don't have to do all the thinking alone. It comes down to you from your superiors that you trust that they did the thinking, and and that they're not lying to you, and so
Yeah.
you follow orders, and there needs to
hopefully
be
they're
that
good
level
orders.
of trust for it to work, for an organization like the police or the military to work properly,
Yes.
and quickly and effectively. But that system is easily manipulated to do terrible things, and we know this
Yes.
without a doubt. You know, it's a catch-22. You know, and Canada is in a sad state. I mean,
Yes.
but the people aren't backing down. I also saw today that that one woman, one of the organizers,
Yeah.
she was arrested before the trampling, and will have no bail. There's no bail for her. She cannot post bail because there is no bail set.
Do they even have bail in Canada?
They do.
Okay. I don't know. I've never, other than crossing the border a couple of times, kind of illegally. I hiked across it and then hiked right back. I've never been to Canada, so I don't
Me either.
know.
Me either. But yeah.
So, the other
she
subject that
cannot
happened
post
this
bail.
weekend, uh, Russia got new marching orders and said that several areas of or not Afghanistan,
Ukraine.
of Ukraine have defected from Ukraine and asked to be part of Russia, i.e., he just marched right over and said, "Hey, you're part of Russia now." So that happened and completely stymied Biden. Not that that's difficult or hard, but yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't invade. They asked us to come in.
Yeah, I mean, well, did they have to fight for it?
Probably not. I mean, tanks versus handguns. Yeah, tanks are going to win. Unless you're Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you can make a sticky bomb. It's pretty easy. But no, I'm just asking, like, you know. See, the thing is that who knows if that's even true, you know? Like, you can't trust what Putin says. You can't trust what our own government says. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? Who cares? Frankly, but our government keeps saying that they're gonna. Today's the invasion day, you know, and then 3 days later, you know, nothing will have happened, and then the new invasion date is coming, you know, and
Yep.
you know, I mean,
My thing is this is a war between Ukraine and Russia, not
Yeah.
United States, not Germany, not Poland, not anything. It's Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine has its own military. Ukraine has its own diplomats and everything else. That's not our fight. Why are we trying to get into it? They're not even part of NATO officially.
yeah.
So,
Well,
granted,
and did you hear that we've sent Kamala Harris to deal with this crisis in the Ukraine?
Kamala Harris went to Poland. No,
Yeah, so she
was
went
it
somewhere,
Poland?
and I think Macron and Putin and her are supposed to be meeting up to try and find a diplomatic solution or whatever.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Okay.
So,
Listen to this. Time for the protesters to hear our jackboots on the ground. Royal Canadian Mounted Police in group chat allegedly celebrates violence against protesters. Who's surprised? Also, did you see that, like, on their uniforms they had no badge or name, no badge number, no name on their uniforms? They had taken them off so that they wouldn't, you know,
can't be identified.
So, yeah, so they can just be anonymous a-holes. awesome.
All of this just smacks
They're
of
the good guys, though.
tyranny.
They're the good guys. They did this to save democracy.
For a safe and secure Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. They can go eat it. Because I ain't buying it.
Now, have you heard about the Freedom Convoy 2.0 that's happening here in America? No? Hello?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You know, we're
Sorry,
an
my
audio
clock was
podcast,
dinging.
Yeah. It started in LA and it's moving to DC. Moving to DC by March 1st. They're not going to go around the Capitol building. They're going to surround the White House and whatnot. And basically to be there for Biden's State of the Union address. And they're not going to leave until he says that the mandates and the vaccine mandates and the masks nonsense and all that crap is gone and done for.
Well, okay. I am lucky enough to live in a state where I have not seen any of that. So I don't know exactly what that looks like. Luckily, I don't live in California or Michigan or New York, where that is an actual issue where you have to go around, have this vaccine card or app on your phone to show, hey, I can get in. I am compliant. I bent over. I took mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I live in a great state where, no, you want it? Great. You don't want it? Great. Otherwise, live your life. Get on with it. Because guess what? That's exactly what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get on with our lives. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to be able to eradicate it because the vaccines don't do that. So move along. Move along. Move along.
Yeah. Trying to find information on it, but I thought it was 1,000 strong. Moving into towards DC. I know there was other groups meeting in Texas as well for the same thing. And basically they said, we don't have to go. All he has to do is say it now, and we won't show up. We won't be there.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't,
he's
we're going to
not
show
gonna do
up
that.
and we're going to stay there.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
The truckers don't even have to go to Washington, D.C. to do this. All the truckers have to do is collectively stop driving.
Yes. True.
And they will shut this country down faster than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine Amazon not being able to ship packages because none of the packages are coming from the trucks. Just imagine Walmart shelves after about 3 days of not getting trucks.
Oh, empty.
Well, place would be a ghost town. Imagine Target, your local grocery store. It wouldn't take long.
No.
1 week, maybe, of truckers just, I'm sorry, I have COVID. I can't work. Just use that excuse. And all of a sudden, this country's shut down faster than anything else. They'll get that response real fast.
I just question. The only thing is that that's going to cause chaos.
Yes
Cities,
and
the
no.
big cities are not going to handle not having
Food.
I mean, people don't know how to get food. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Handy with that, but
I have 4 weeks supply.
That's good. That's good.
It's all freeze dried, whatever food. You just add water and you're good to go.
Roman Knightley said Smokey and the Bandit 4 is a go. That's funny.
All right, good buddy.
Yeah, I mean it's that would create chaos, and that chaos might play right into their hands. I don't
You think
know.
so?
I mean, when there's chaos, that's a reason to implement martial law, is there not? Is it not?
Yes.
But I mean, if thousands of truckers are going to Washington D.C., I mean, you're going to have the same result.
So the path that's laid out here that I see, and I looked it up, California to the State of the Union address, rolling out Friday, February 25th, going to Salt Lake City, then Denver, then Kansas City, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, and Frederick, then Washington, D.C.
Fredericksburg.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bring water.
And then what I
jerky,
saw was also
blankets,
other
gum,
groups.
cash, and as many flags as you can carry.
Yep. And then there's other groups, like another group that I heard of meeting in Texas, forming in Texas for the same thing. So this is gonna be, it's gonna be big. And like if that many trucks are not on their routes, then that's gonna be, it's gonna shut down things anyway. And
There's going to be a lot of delays,
yeah,
and people are just going to have to tighten their belts and get used to it.
yep. So if you're watching this, prepare a little bit. Buy a little bit extra if you can.
Yep. That would be a good time while there's still supplies.
A very good time.
So, funny thing, there was a big race this weekend, the Daytona 500.
Yes.
Don't know if anybody here watched it. Great race, lots of fun. I actually enjoy watching the Daytona 500. I love watching car races. It's quite entertaining for me. Did anybody see what happened at the end of the race? There was a pretty substantial news crew, Fox 35, that came around and was interviewing people, because one of the traditions is that people from the stands get to come out and sign the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful tradition. The signatures stay there until the next race. Then they paint over them and do it all over again. So they walk up to one guy and, "Hey, how you doing? This is Fox 35 News. What are you signing on the finish line?" Guy proudly stands up. "Why, I'm writing F Joe Biden." Didn't say F. He said the full word on national television.
Indeed.
Well, that's what you get sometimes on live TV. Sorry about that, folks. Let's talk to this person here. Sir, what did you write on the starting line? Well, I don't think it's quite appropriate for the news, do you? Because he wrote the exact same thing. They tried to do it to one more person. And they wrote the same thing.
That's great.
If there's one example of how Americans feel about their president, that's a pretty good example. They
At
couldn't
least
find
from
one
that
person in the
subsection.
crowd that's writing their name or something like that. No, they're all writing F Joe Biden because why not?
Because for real, F Joe Biden.
He's the one that told Trudeau, or I'm sorry, Emperor Trudeau, to use federal powers in any way that he
Oh yeah.
can.
Oh yeah.
So why not?
One more thing before we go. Have you
Yes.
seen the video of the mom that's at the newest video from a mom at a school board meeting?
No,
Have
I
you seen
haven't.
anything about this? Okay, so this is a mom. She comes up to the mic and she says to one of the school board members, and then she says, okay, so she says that the last time I was up here, you, and then she names the person, got on to me for not wearing a mask. But I have right here a photo of you from Facebook surrounded by a group of people wearing a mask. And then immediately somebody starts banging the gavel. And then she's like, and here's another one with you in a group of people and you're not wearing a mask. And then this woman from the school board just starts, calling her out, saying, you stop talking. They cut off her mic. She calls for the police basically because she didn't want to be shown for her hypocrisy. It's so enraging. They're so arrogant. And this is just another example where they where this person, it's rules for thee and not for me, and then this person calls them out for it, and then she says, you will not disparage a member of our committee. It's like, disparage? What are you talking about?
It just shows the hypocrisy. Their absolute lack of anything.
And that's not anything
to do
new.
With...
Yeah, I mean, they have no scruples, and this isn't new information, but she calls for a policeman to come and take this woman away from the microphone. What power does a school board committee member have?
None.
What power do they really have? Not much, right?
They have enough power that they can think that they have. They can dictate how teachers teach. That's about all.
Sure. Yeah. So not much power in the scheme of things. Yet look at what that power has done to them.
Yeah.
How much that's corrupted. Think about how corrupt the people with real power are.
Oh yeah.
This is why the decentralization of power is of the utmost importance. As much as we can decentralize, let's do it. Because power corrupts. I mean, we've known this since we were children. We know with great power comes great responsibility, thanks to, Uncle Ben and Spider-Man, But we also know that power corrupts. Like, really? The chances of superheroes being a thing, if superpowers were a thing, very, very few. There would be way more supervillains than there would be superheroes.
Love his rice. Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben had great rice. Great rice. And a bit of wisdom,
Yep.
Can't go wrong. On that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, the home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, And we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, Rumble, anywhere you can get a podcast, Instagram, and minds.com. Please like, share, subscribe, share, like, and share. If you listen to the audio podcast, post a 5-star review, because that helps us out with spreading things. And Roman. Okay, so one last thought. Roman, let's be honest. Superman had a Christian upbringing, or else he would be totalitarian. 100%. In fact, there is a version of Superman called Red Sun, where he lands in communist Russia instead of America, and it's very interesting. But
I love that comic.
Yeah. Ultimately, he still has some kind of morals, because he's Superman, but whatever. Anyway,
not much.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. It probably would have turned out even worse than the way they wrote it. But so yeah, like, share, subscribe, 5-star reviews, all that stuff. Tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. we'll be visited by a guest. One Topher Town Music, to discuss his latest album, which dropped today and is already at number 2 on all the charts. It was number 1 in hip hop within 2 hours, and it's number 2 on all charts underneath the music from Encanto. And let's try to get it to number 1 so he has a true number 1 hit. And so hopefully we'll see you then. And, we'll get his thoughts on the news of the day as well. Anyway, peace out. God bless. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got another one. Yeah.
Everybody hate Chris.
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 They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But it really go to show. They everybody hate Chris. Think you know who I supported? Biden or Trump or debate, I avoided. My vote this election, I never reported. Cause Jesus, my family, my job was important. Now I'm trending on Twitter, all because some actors chose to be bitter. Refused to fulfill my role as an avenger for Biden's campaign, so they say I'm a quitter. I don't bother with the hurt say. I'm not involved in politics in the first place. But if you really want to talk about a story, then you really need to worry about Hunter and his drug face. Cause I heard what they found on that hard drive when I've been chilling, getting busy on the par 5. Going fishing, tending to my farm, live a very simple life, and they still give me a hard time. What's crazy is it started all randomly, attacking who I am and my belief in Christianity. I pray to God that he helped me with my sanity, cause every single day I'm losing faith in humanity. Making my wifey go crazy and act up. Robin and Marka, I appreciate the backup. If this continue, I may need to pack up. My life as I know it, then lead till they slack up. And since my church is conservative, now they hating on the way that I prefer to live. Calling me a supremacist, quite interpretive. I swear I do the most with emphasis on the superlative. I became a target for your hate. This won't only happen when you're great. Guess I consider my fate. In the end though, I'ma be straight. Everybody hate Chris. 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 They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But it really go to show. They everybody